Welcome everyone, this is MrTrree's raid guide to Mogu'Shan Vault's 10-man edition, and the fight we'll be viewing today is the Stone Gaurds. Alright, in this fight there are actually 4 different bosses. There is the Amethyst Guardian, the Cobalt Guardian, the Jade Guardian, and the Jasper Guardian. All 4 bosses share the same health pool. However, even though there are 4 bosses in total in the fight, only 3 of them are available every week. So you'll get a different 3 combination every week as you do this fight. However, even though you do have a different group every single week, the fight still stays relatively the same. And with that said, I'd just like to note that this fight is a little bit RNG and really is up to the tanks in this fight. Okay, now there are 2 ways you can do this fight. You can either put 2 of the ads on one tank and kind of keep them there the whole time, or you can keep swapping the 2 ads to different tanks. The key thing is whoever is energizing at the time, which is indicated by the bar, as you can see down below, will be the boss that is required to be grouped up with another boss during the fight. And why they will gain energy is because when one boss is near another boss, they'll start building energy while they're together. So if you have all 3 together, they will regain energy very quickly, and you definitely do not want this to happen. The second big mechanic to this fight is watching their energy bars. If anyone hits 100% energy during the fight, they'll explode, doing 500,000 damage to all players in the fight. And how this damage is mitigated is by taking the boss that's currently petrifying the raid and grouping it up with one of the other bosses. That way it will start gaining energy and will actually explode. When it explodes, the damage is reduced by 90% due to the fact it is using its petrify ability onto the raid. You want to continue this process on every single boss that is currently petrifying the raid. In doing so, you will negate almost all the damage from the AoE that could possibly happen. However, there is an RNG factor to this, and some can actually go off and do huge damage to the raid, so be ready with healing cooldowns and tank cooldowns in order to make it past those points. And actually, as you can see in this fight, we went with having one tank 2 of the bosses for the majority of the fight. One tank focusing on keeping the one boss away from the other 2 so he doesn't keep gaining energy and cause those big massive explosions onto the raid. Alright, now during this fight there are actually 4 abilities that all the raid have to watch out for. Now if Amethyst is one of the guardians that are up currently, he'll actually put a shadow pool on the ground that does 32,500 shadow damage every second. Everyone just needs to stay out of these pools and just keep an eye out for him. The Cobalt Guardian is the next one. He actually puts a little debuff on the ground which takes about 3 seconds to arm itself, but if anyone walks into that zone, will take 52,000 damage and will hold them in place for the next 6 seconds. Just as a tip to make dealing with this easier, seeing that it will constrict the room quite a bit, once Cobalt Guardian does come to its petrifying mode, your raid can actually clear out these debuffs on the ground because they will take the 90% reduced damage throughout that duration. The next one is the Jade Guardian. He'll actually shoot shards from his body, hitting all players for 84,500 nature damage. This will just have to be healed through. There is no way to really mitigate this other than during the petrifying phase where it will take reduced damage. And finally we have the Jasper Guardian. The Jasper Guardian will do a cleave that will do 150,000 fire damage to an enemy and up to 4 other allies, so just don't stand in front of him. And also he'll put chains onto 2 allies within the fight. Neither of them will be the tanks, however, if it is a melee, the range most likely will have to go into melee range to be able to keep the chains from doing damage. The closer you are, the less damage you'll take until you get to 15 stacks, and at that point the chains will disappear. Alright, during this fight there will be a lot of trading with the tanks and a lot of movement in this fight, trying to stay out of all the debuffs on the ground. Now a couple tricks for this fight for the tanks. If you're tanking the single ad, a lot of times you want that tank to call out everything, saying that the main tank will have a hard time trying to focus on everything and try to focus which ad needs to be tanked. Now something to also keep in mind to try to figure out which 2 ads the main tank should be tanking will be which one has the lowest one and which one is petrifying at the time. Whoever has the lowest energy and whoever is petrifying should be the 2 that are always together, while the one that is at the highest energy that isn't petrifying should be away from the group. That way so it doesn't explode. And that's pretty much all the mechanics to the fight. It's real simple, real easy. It just takes a lot of coordination from the tanks. You guys can go ahead and keep watching the rest of the fight. Also, if any of you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments below, or any ways that I can maybe improve on to these videos. Also, any of you that already haven't done this, you can go ahead and subscribe up on top. I should be coming out with more videos here in the near future. And that'll be everything. I'll catch you guys later.